The PARDES method is a template that can be applied to any text. When properly applied, one can gain a deep understanding of themselves, a situation, and the world around them. Many people do not understand how to properly read and decode the biblical text. The Bible has been translated into many different languages. The original 3 languages in which the biblical text was written was Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. By translating the text into various languages, a lot of the hidden meanings are lost in translation. There's so many different questions that we could ask. With this video, I want to present the PARDES method. The PARDES method is not wholly my creation. I would have to say that I have piggybacked off of an ancient tradition based off of the acronym PARDES. PARDES means both orchard and paradise. So the reference about the whole apple and Adam and Eve comes from a pun from antiquity. Not to get too much into the story behind the reference of the apple, but more so to get into the symbology of what it means. So apples, they grow in orchards. Orchards represent a richness of knowledge and information. With a paradise such as which Adam and Eve were created and lived in until they were banished out of this garden, represents the sacred mind, in which rich fruits, such as a variety of fruits of wisdom, are cultivated. The garden esoterically always represents a mind, a mystic mind, a mind that has many different layers and many different types of fruits, better known as different types of knowledge, hidden wisdom. Hello, spiritual trendsetter. This is Ashley for FD1111 Ministries, where we help people ascend and connect to their divine purpose using the tools of tarot, Bible, and alchemy. If you like content like this, subscribe to our channel and be sure to check out the playlist, The Biblical Strategies Toolkit, where you can find more videos like this one. So the acronym PARDES, that contains 4 letters, the P, the R, the D, and the S. P for Peshet, meaning surface. So everybody knows this. When they read a text, they take it verbatim, and either they believe or either they don't. And many people either say they believe, but subconsciously it's a hang up there because it's a battle within themselves. Or they do not believe or understand the parables or the text. But by applying the PARDES method, that one will be able to uncover the many layers under the initial text. Moving on to the R, Ramez, meaning symbolic, hint, or deeper. D, Darash, means to inquire, to seek. And last is Sod, meaning secret, mystery, esoteric, or mystical. Now that's the traditional acronym, but I would like to piggyback off of this acronym and to fill in the full word paradise. So adding in the missing letters, A for astrology, the second A for anatomy, I for individual, E for evolution. So astrology, most of the scriptures, if not all of them, contain astrological roots. Anatomy, esoterically, much of the texts have symbolism pointing to various parts or stages of human anatomy or alchemical processes. Individual, any text that you encounter is centered around you. So always look for yourself in the text. Evolution, the overall purpose of this and other sacred texts are to evolve both the reader and humanity. Without evolution, a species will die. When I say evolution, I'm not talking about Darwinism. I'm talking about the evolvement of the consciousness. You can read this blog post on our website at www.fd1111ministries.org, and it will also be listed down below. For the sake of time, I'm not going to decode all of the scriptures that I'm mentioning. I'm going over 3 popular scriptures. I'm briefly touching on these. The first one is Matthew 7:7. Knock and the door will be open unto you. Very basic. Most people can grasp that this has a symbolic meaning because of the door. Astrology, astrologically, this door is making reference to the zodiac wheel that unlocks certain energies at appointed times. Anatomy, this particular scripture, the door is referencing the pineal gland, the suppressed or mishandled sexual energy, and the vocal box. The vocal box is the power of creation through sound. For example, John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word. So this door makes reference to these different parts of the body that when they work in tandem, they unlock something within a person. The pineal gland, which is the third eye, the sexual energy, which is housed in the base chakra, and the vocal box. When one goes into a meditative state, and especially using the universal that they can unlock those different doors, better known also as wheels or portals within themselves to help balance their energy. Darash. Here I want to focus on the number 777. Matthew being the 7th disciple, the number 7 for the chapter, and the 7th verse. The number 777 is the number of the door or portal to the angelic realms. This sort of kind of piggybacks off of the astrology, when I was talking about the zodiac wheel, the door being the zodiac wheel. Now everyone has a natal chart, which is like a wheel, and that wheel is divided up into 12 sectors. This natal chart for the individual are placements and how the ever-moving energies of that zodiac wheel will affect that person. This is the true meaning of knowing thyself. As above, so below. As what happens in the astros affects the world, that affects the person within the world. Sod, the sacred, which we did a pretty good job about covering the sacred mystic information within this text without going to a full study. But another thing to point out is that this door is a barrier between one's earthly self and their spiritual self that most are not aware of. Most people are not aware of this door. When you balance those and you unlock a door, a portal within oneself that allows them to tap into their higher self. Most people are stuck in the earthly realms. Throughout the entire biblical text, it makes reference to two: the earthly self, the earthly vessel, the carnal self, and the spiritual self. And finally, E for evolution. Through every individual knowing their personal zodiac wheel, aka knowing themselves and how the energies work within themselves and how they connect to the cosmos, that the door will be opened to everyone's higher expression of themselves. Imagine people living in the higher expression of themselves, how evolved humanity will be. Another popular scripture is the Good Shepherd. Psalms 23. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but basically, that through these different layers, you're able to uncover what the true meaning of the Good Shepherd is. Most people stop at, it's an analogy of the shepherd that's leading a flock. The shepherd being the Christ and the flock being the followers. But astrologically, the Good Shepherd is Capricorn, the second phase of the mountain goat that climbs and strives to ascend upward in consciousness. Going to the anatomy, as the trapped energy in the valley of the shadow of death, that one, when that trapped energy is released, that one will fear no evil. That energy will rise to the green pastures which reside in the mind. And I'm not going to go once again too deep into this study. But what does the Good Shepherd esoterically have to do with anatomy? It has to do with a certain chemical that the brain secretes once a month, according to my personal astrological chart. So that would lead me to go and look up what are the placements of my sun, moon, and rising. The more that I know about my personal makeup, the more that I can master myself. I can heal myself. Another one that I briefly want to touch on is Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Now that's a pretty good scripture. Most people think they know. So skipping down to astrologically. Astrologically, Leo is associated with the heart. Leo represents the sun. The sun represents where you put your focus. This is the way how you show up in the world from an astrological standpoint, whatever your sun sign is. The sun also represents your conscious mind. Like, where do you consciously put your focus? The heart is the passion. What are you passionate about? And both the heart and the sun gives life, and it can take life away. Individually, Leo, the lion, is the 5th house, and this is how you can gain understanding of your romantic life, your social life, and your passions. It's important to be able to understand how to read the biblical text to glean information for your personal life and your personal circumstances, but even more so for those that may be either transitioning out of regular traditional religion into more of a divine mindset. I guarantee if you apply this method and really apply it and do your research, You can answer any question about any scriptures, even the ones that are very complex, such as the book of Revelation, such as the Song of Solomon. All of these books are very heavily coded. So some of the videos that I do have coming up, some basic study tools. The introduction to biblical astrology. What exactly is astrology and how does it fit into the Bible and into our personal lives? The Trinity template and how the Trinity template is a grand design throughout history and all civilizations, the Babel effect, and how division and unity work together, the dualistic nature. All these videos and all of these blog posts that you can go and make reference to, all of these different study tools I have coming up. So if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to please share it. I want people to be able to at least be exposed to different ways of how to think instead of, just being locked into one thing. Even if they don't agree to it, at least being exposed to it. So at least that way they can come to a clear conclusion, because if you only have been exposed to one type of thing, it's sort of hard to come to a clear conclusion about something. Me personally, although I grew up traditionally in a Christian home, and when I became an adult, I really threw myself into like ministry, all that stuff, and that's where I got my spiritual basis from. But I always knew it was something that was slightly missing. So the Bible, I love it very, very much, but I knew that the way how it was taught to me, it wasn't fulfilling. It's like going to go out to eat and you eat, but you're still hungry. It's still something that's missing. And that's what was happening to me. So to offer these tools to other people so they can be fulfilled is a beautiful thing. All of the links will be listed down below, including the Ascended Bible Divine Guidance cards. That link is down below. The Spiritual Startup Business Academy, the link is down below. Want to join or support on Patreon? That's also listed down below. I'll talk to you guys later. All right, peace.